YouTube friends, many new and old. Welcome to the stream. Today we're just going to be playing some background music, having a conversation. My thoughts and opinions on the CLC65 speakers as they have been in my system for the last couple of weeks, if not a month almost. And this is my first time listening to them with the tweeters on the outside, so I can answer some questions in the comments or otherwise about this system. Also, my impressions of what they sound like with the tweeters on the outside. I am going to be playing an album today. This is a band called, you can't really even see it, they are called Uneven Structures. This is an old CD that I've had for a while. Really cool kind of box set. Two-part CDs. The first CD's already in there. It's from a record label by the name of Basic. There's my face in the background. Hello. Happy Friday to everybody who's watching and tunes in after the fact. If you want to know more about the system, please consider subscribing. If I earn a subscription, leave a comment. If not, otherwise, feedback is welcome. It's a sort of progressive metal band. It will be relatively quiet. We'll have a conversation in the chat in the meantime. So let's just get this started for Friday, and then we'll just roll out as the day goes. Sound quality is being provided by the phone that I'm using. I'm using a Samsung Note 20, so it has stereo microphones, sort of. The microphones are currently positioned on the top and the bottom of the phone. I have the ability to use binaural audio microphones external. I might plug those in partway through this, but I'm actually charging the phone right now. Let me turn that down just slightly. So again, it is Friday. It's currently 5:02 Eastern Standard Time, Friday, August 14th. Just to date stamp the stream here. Stereo mic stream or recording will be coming throughout the weekend. I need to pace myself in terms of how I'm moving my system around, when I'm recording, things like that. I will bring the comparison against the KEF R11 Metas in the future. Today I'm just enjoying this CD that I haven't had on for a while. I'm also betting that my algorithm's not going to clock this CD. This is a CD I haven't heard in a long while, and a genre that typically doesn't get flagged. So if you stick around and want to hear something else later on, then by all means stick around and request a song of some kind, and then maybe I'll play something else later on. So yeah, this band is called Uneven Structures. I've had this CD for a while. Very progressive metal on Basic Records. This is the first disc of 2. Kind of wild. Very sort of like atmospheric sort of progressive metal. It's very interesting. I haven't heard a whole lot about the band since I got the CD, like way back in the day. I guess they're not really doing a lot of music anymore, or the band split up into other bands. I would like to play a lot more kinds of music. The problem is getting muted or blocked on YouTube has always been a really big issue, so I have to be careful with that. Also, I realize, dip the volume a little bit and just have it in the background. I also realize that metal isn't everybody's like number one thing for hi-fi. I know that a lot of people will be upset and they will just be like, oh my God, you're listening to this kind of music on this system, but it changes. So I like it for this reason. How's it going? We got Dadjik in the house. I'm going to continue using the screen name. I mean, that's just being internet polite. Yeah, the tweeters on the outside. I was asked a number of times by some people, some friends of mine, like what I would think of the tweeters being on the inside or outside. So let me do a quick measurement for you guys to show you exactly how much of a difference the tweeter on the inside or outside is really making. I'm going to measure the cabinet, so pardon me for a second, and you'll see that the tweeter's not really moving left to right very much. So this tweeter's centered in the cabinet about 5 inches in. So 5 inches in, and the cabinet is 13 and a little bit wide. 5 inches would put the tweeter about here. So we're talking about a difference of 4 inches ish. Yeah. So it's not much of a difference. The tweeter's only moving across the baffle about 4 inches, including waveguides, some of those frequencies. You know, that's not a whole lot of a change. Do I hear much of a difference? The mid-range is also moving. Then there's the thickness of the baffle to account for. I think they did a good job in terms of how subtle that is. In my personal experience here, I don't notice enough of a difference. I think it's more subtle than I'm able to pick up here. They are slightly towed out from my position as well, so I don't know that that makes much of a difference. Let me move the camera into the middle a little bit while it's plugged in. So from my seated position, this is straight. You guys can kind of see me there in the mirror. So when you look over, you can see just a little bit of the inside of the speaker cabinet, and the same thing there. That's how much. I mean, this is exaggerated actually because the camera's closer to them, so it's actually more like this. So they're just barely towed out over my shoulder. That's typically how I aim my tweeters. About 5 degrees towed out. Not much more than that, but never straight on, usually just over my shoulder. So the tweeters being on the outside, I don't know that that's creating such a big difference for me in my room, considering I have the sidewalls set up the way I do. I do find though, you'll be amused to find out how much these two katana handles, I feel terrible calling it handles. I should be using all the proper Japanese names for these parts. Oh, forgive me. But these are actually interfering with the position. So if I turn them, they get wider or more narrow, and their positions in those locations actually break up that side reflection just a little bit, but it's enough that I can actually hear the difference. I just did a comparison for the left and right. I had to shift and measure them off center because now the tweeters are closer to them rather than further away from them. And now I'm convinced I need to order another pair so I can have 3 here. Maybe another short one for the front. This one and this white one here are for my mom. This black one here was for her partner. They actually both died of cancer, so that's the reason why. Well, one, that's the reason why my room is white, as a tribute to my mom. And the sword on display like that is because of her and the partner. So that's a rare story that not many people get to hear. Yeah, having anything in the way of reflection points can really change this. Absolutely. That's something that we can play with. I mean, I'm using relatively expensive things in the way, but I think it's really cool. I use absorption on the walls and diffusion on the front and back walls. So properly tuned diffusers, yes, they can definitely make a difference. I'm actually thinking about putting a significantly better bass trap in the back corner because I do have that 50 hertz bump, and I'm thinking about cutting off like the whole back corner with foam. Also the window well, I have a window well right here that's wide open. I will tilt my camera and I'll show you what's going on. It's also like behind the scenes stuff you guys never get to see. And I appreciate the condolences. It was a while ago. It never really changes for your mom. Obviously, family is one thing, but I wanted to do something special for them both, which is also why this is a tribute CD player. So they're both honored and respected in a way. It's a very Japanese theme. I also have a Michi preamp. So anyways, I'll show you the window well and show you what I'm dealing with. Well, there's quite a bit of space there. Good enough. It's way too hot. I just went up there and felt the hot air breathing in the window. I can't have that hot air in here like that. That's fucking gross. So, what did you use to deaden the window? That's, I think it's R10, R5, R10 rigid insulation. I'm pretty sure it's 5 or 10. 5. So it's a double silver coated or double silver closed cell R5 rigid insulation. I just cut it to size, pressure fit it to the window. The outside windows are also covered with a silver material. That's basically to keep the heat out, because in the evenings and afternoons the sun beats directly on my windows to the west, and it absolutely just heats up the apartment. There's no fighting it at all. So the best thing I could do is cover the window in silver insulation, and put curtains on the inside. And to be honest with you, R5 is still not even enough. It gets so fucking hot, just the sun hitting the window, that I feel like coating it from the outside, but obviously the landlords won't allow that. So I'm considering recovering the windows in like absolute foil, like glue and foil. You can't use glue because it'll just melt. So I'm thinking of something else that I can put over the windows, because the sun just keeps heating up the window. And I have to keep fighting against it, either using fans or air conditioners. It's ridiculous. So that's what's covering that window. It helps a lot with sound, not so much with the heat. So Rehan Studio X Beat, hi bro, hello, welcome. Nice to see some new names in here. We are just talking hi-fi and anything to do with audio systems. Also, I'm in the season of encouraging people to keep buying your CDs. Whatever you have to do to buy CDs and play your physical media, don't let the streaming servers or whomever you deal with take the CDs away from you, your music. Keep them personal. I have just upload stereo beat. Would you like to check? What are you talking about? Are you advertising your music in here? Yeah, welcome to the stream. Oh my god, you have hi-fi woofer system. Yes, we have hi-fi stuff in here. And don't fucking advertise in here, I'll just ban you. Use those mats that toddlers play on to deaden the windows. That's a good idea. Actually, I had a number, because those are weighted, some of them are weighted mats, so they would actually help with vibration too, to lower the amount of vibration. Pretty easy. So the problem is, like, how do you get them to stick on the window? Right? Like, that was my issue. So for my windows, unplug this so I can get you guys closer. So for my windows, I've got some of the insulation foam there, and then those are just pressure fit. So there's nothing actually holding them against the window. I've got these extendable rods there to hold that one in place. And then on that side, I've got another piece of foam to hold it in place. Yeah, because the problem is, look at this. The heat just melts the glue, and it doesn't hold. It doesn't matter what kind of glue you're using, or maybe if you use some like crazy 3M industrial strength stuff, like, it's still, I can feel the heat on my hand. It's still hot. So if I stick anything to the window, I have this feeling that it's just going to melt the glue. Or in the wintertime, the same thing. Like when it's cold, the glue just flakes apart. You need to use some like very industrial adhesive. And I'm only renting an apartment, so I don't want to be doing something like that. I could permanently fix something to the window, like a plank of wood or a rubber mat, or like if it was my actual house, of course, that's what I would do. Come to think of it, if it was my house, I would just take the window out. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have a window. Like, fuck the sun. I'm not one of these Egyptian type sun worshipping, you know what I mean? Like, I have absolutely no need, no psychological desire to brown my skin. I don't want to look dark. I don't want to absorb the sun. I fucking hate it. I'm like a cave dweller. It's absolutely not my type. My family's from the East Coast. They're basically fishermen. So all they do is get out in the cold weather and or whatever the weather is. They all hate the sun. Like, the sun and hot weather is so terrible. So I understand that, you know, some people enjoy that, and I don't have anything against that, but personally, And I've had people judge me. They're like, what kind of, whatever attitude or whatever. I'm like, look, I'm not judging anybody else for liking the sun. I'm just not that type at all. Never been. I always hide from the sun. As you can tell, my windows are completely blacked out. If I turn the lights off in here now, you'd almost see nothing through the window, except for where the tape is busted. So because of that, like the heat still leaks in here a little bit, so I'm actually thinking of doing more. So right now it's only an R5. I'm thinking about putting like an R10 on the inside, but it's 2.5 inches thick and costs a lot of money. So, I mean, I would. Why not? It's going to get me what I want out of it. It's going to keep everything cool. No leaking, no air, no, that kind of thing. I do need ventilation in here, though. That's the other big problem because it's an apartment. The ventilation in here is terrible. So I have fans going all the time to try to move the air around. If it's nice and cool outside, I can open my windows, so I don't need it permanently closed. But I do need them sort of insulated because the sun is just so hot in the evening that it beats against the window. Also, cheers. I wish you all well. I'm not drinking alcohol, but I am having a drink of something sweet on the weekends. I do sugar-free all week, and then I have sugar on the weekends. It's very nice to consume with ice cubes. So this week I got into these. This is the Rolling Stones collection from each of these years. So I'm going through them one at a time. Actually, that one's in the wrong order. Some of these are in worse order than others. I guess one of them's missing. So that's been fun, exploring new music. Always like finding something, something that I missed. Maybe like when I was younger, I enjoyed, but then I didn't know what it was, so I didn't know how to find it. I still buy CDs too. I think I still have some at my parents' place. That's really cool. I'm on the lookout now. I'm actually browsing online where people are selling CDs on Marketplace, and I'm thinking about just buying as many CD collections as possible. I keep browsing Messenger just to see, like, people will sell like whole CD lots for like $50 or whatever the case may be. So this must be a store. It's something like this. See? Just selling like all kinds of CDs. But for $7, like, come on. It's really well organized. I'll give him that. So yeah, I actually just purchased some more CDs from Amazon, and I needed to get a new CD ripper because the new the new Mac OS operating system in silicone doesn't operate well with old CD, like portable CD players, or those USB CD players. Something about it being not Intel doesn't mean that the drives don't match. So I went onto Amazon. I found a couple of old CDs that I actually would like to have in my collection, and I ended up finding a number of things. So there's the CD set for tomorrow. So that's Nine Inch Nails original album, secondary album. There's another one for Sunday, and then some jewel cases. And I actually found this, which is a modern, let me see, where is it? Giving away my address there. That's not good. Hopefully that was blurry. I'll have to cut that out. Not good. Not good at all, my man. It's a good thing there's only like one person on there. So your Ever Solo can rip CDs if you use external USB drive. Yeah, I don't have one. That's the problem. I need to find the right USB drive. And I would rather use the computer to rip them so that I have them across all storage devices. So I can try, I don't know, I guess I can try this new drive and see if the Ever Solo can rip into the hard disk storage. That way I don't need to use up my computer time. I'm wondering why. I try to tap on the one item to see the order, but it won't show me the one item. Fucking piece of shit. Anyways, it's a new CD drive. I'll be able to rip CDs into the computer using that because the Mac OS doesn't really work. And it's a newer USB, so it's USB-C. It'll be a lot faster. All that stuff, it's got all the modern stuff in it. So that's good. Speaking of Ever Solo, the two units that I have, the A8 and in my other room the A6, I'm probably going to sell them both. I am looking at moving into the separate DAC, separate streamer. So T10, Z10, basically because those two units have like all the essential stuff that I would want from a DAC / preamp, all that advanced stuff. So it's like the A8 on a different level. So I appreciate that. So I'll probably get rid of the A8 and the A6 and then move into the T10, Z10. And I'll probably have a couple of other things for sale, but I just want to make sure, like I have obviously these speakers that are here, and before I go too far with it anyways, I won't be getting rid of too many other things, because I am looking at buying these ones because I don't want to get rid of them. They sound incredible. I love that they have almost complete full range in a sort of like stand mounted monitor speaker, because it's not really a tower. It's kind of like a tower, but not really. It's on a stand. And I really love that. So instead of having to see them disappear, I'm trying to work something out so I can keep them. And if that means I'm going to get rid of other stuff, then so be it. I mean, even these subs, I won't need these subs in here anymore, which means I can put them in the theater. And then I'll have the kind of theater bass that I need. I use an ASUS drive. That's what I just ordered. Hooked it up to my Intel with Rune. Oh yeah, the Rune, right. And it just rips directly. That's perfect. So it's an ASUS drive that I'm getting. I think it's a Zen drive because it's got all kinds of features. So that'll be perfect, that it can work with my Ever Solos as well as the computer, which is what I want. I want it to work on the computer. Yep. So let me see. I think this CD is almost done. I can switch up the back half of this stream. What else do we want to listen to? Can I put on some of the streaming here? Stop that one. Go into, let me see, a release radar on today. First song looks like a Deadmau5 remix. I'll just keep it low in the background just for something different to listen to. Yeah, the Zen drive should be nice. I'm hoping that it works out well. I looked at a number of different drives that were going to work out, or that are compatible with that. So hopefully that works. Cross my fingers. And for the rest of the weekend, I suppose I can do some speaker demos and measurements, videos and stuff. I've got to compare these two, the R11s and the CLC65s. I want to just have them put the other speakers in place and do my best in terms of, I mean, at least record them, because I don't know how much of it. I don't yet know if I like swapping them in position and sitting back down is really going to get me like a fair A-B comparison, because it's going to take me 10 plus minutes to move them back and forth, and I don't know that that's really fair for a comparison. A-B comparison is the best, but then I don't know how you do that and put speakers in the exact same position in a room. Like, no matter what, you got to move something around. So I haven't yet figured that part out, but I definitely will swap them and see what I can hear. I'm gonna be an absolute rude DJ, and I'm gonna leave the stream going on a different song while I very politely excuse myself to the bathroom. Nature calls, my friends. Let's put this one on. I don't know what this song is about. I just know the singer, and hopefully it's a good one. So 2 seconds, please. Some classic sounding hip hop right there. Damn. I don't want to cut off my Friday stream just because I gotta hit the bathroom. Rude as it may seem, it puts in a nice little music break there. Well, that's cool. Hopefully I didn't have anybody coming in and out. I was like, what the hell is this? Is what it is. Oh, it's nice to be out on a Friday. I like having my weekends off. And the really cool thing for me is I have an but a meeting per se about a new position that I inquired about. Now, I don't even think it's 50-50. I think it's more like 20-80. I won't get the position because it's in a field that I didn't really study for. However, I have worked in so many different places where this type of field has been very dominant, and I have had to learn everything about it, and I understand exactly what their purpose is. It's more or less, are there technical aspects to the role that I need to qualify for? Or is it just a matter of learning what they need me to do in that role? And hopefully the meeting will give me some clarity on whether I qualify or I can pursue it somehow with some courses or whatever, because the income rate is like $30K more a year, and like that would be fucking nice. Not that fucking Canada is going to use the tax money in a very responsible way anyways. It would just be nice to get even 50% more of that. That, just a little bit of a change. I mean, gotta fight back somehow. So anyways, it's in a field that's more interesting. It's less labor, more head work, more thinking and processing, and more administrative, but it's more aligned with something that I like. I was actually applying for a quality control position for a while, where a lot of that is regulation and knowing how to like measure and verify and thinking in terms of like troubleshooting, stuff like that, which I've always had in my positions, my roles. They've all had that kind of thing. So Stan all day, welcome back. Where did you get these from in Canada? I'm from Toronto. Well, I got them directly from the brand. They sent them to me directly because I've been talking with the guys from Purify for up to 3 years. So I know the manufacturer of the drivers. I've also talked with this brand when they introduced them first in Munich more than a year ago. So I was very, very early adopter in terms of sharing and showcasing these speakers. So they came to me because I have put my media work in and showed my enthusiasm, and you know how influencing can be. That's not necessarily what I'm doing, but because I've maintained contact with them and consistently showed up for them and supported the work and shared their journey, I guess, is when they show up at different shows. And I met them in Chicago. I got some videos and clips for them there, some photos for them there. Sort of like, all in the picture. Stan all day says, I'm influenced indeed. Well, what would you like to know more about them that I have them in house? I mean, a number of people have already reviewed them, but I'm pretty much the only one doing live videos with the speakers actually playing, and I've got stereo recordings of them on the channel, and I'm going to be comparing them with the R11s. So I don't know if anybody else that's doing it that way. They might have better editing, they might have nicer channels, they might have like 100,000 subscribers more than me. Like, that's fine. But I'm the one making like 30 videos. So I don't know what's more valuable. So it looks so sweet. What amps, wattage would you say is needed? Well, I'm using like 500 watt monoblocks. These are made The monoblocks that are in here are also the same company as the drivers. So because I've known, this is all Purify audio. These are made by Buckeye Audio in Ohio. So there's actually a special version of these boards. It's a number of upgraded parts. That's 500 watts. These will probably take 300. It's not so much the wattage, it's more like the character that you're looking for. And that's a deep dive. I mean, if you just want volume, these are not meant for volume, right? They're not just meant to be played loud. These will give you a type of clarity in the music. And I'm going to let this song roll in because I want to prove the point. So let's get the camera in a nice position here. I'm going to let this song roll in, and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, I love some drum and bass. Hey, you want to be more surprised? So they have two 10-inch passive radiators on the back. They're not active, so these are not connected to the amp. Only the one on the front is. But because it's got a passive radiator, it's allowing the bass flex to move in two directions. And it means that it doesn't have air flowing out of the cabinet, making it muddy. Driver's barely even moving. I could probably get it to move, but it might need a lot more volume. It's plenty bassy though. I mean, it sounds like I've got like 4 subwoofers on in here. Dan all day. Yeah, it's sick. I'm listening on some D&D 8C. Well, there you go. Dutch and Dutch 8Cs have the same kind of rear firing, but they're more active. I have the 2 passive versions. In my other room here, I have the other Purify model with passive radiators. I will show. Yeah, I'm a little spoiled when it comes to speakers. So that's the Bucart E50s. So they have the Purify driver in the front and the 2 SB acoustic passives in the back, and then SVS for my surround system. Yeah, I'm a little spoiled, but I've also been at it for many, many years, so. Barely any movement. No, the back ones are moving a little bit more. It is, you just can't see it on camera. Anyways. You guys get the idea. Purify audio drivers, even the tweeters Purify. This is the first production of first available production model that's got all Purify drivers, including the passive radiators. So what does it do, right? Why are we concerned with all Purify? What is the big deal with Purify and all that? So the other question that came up was, what do they retail for in Canada? Because they're sold direct, I will show you what they're listed as. And yes, so you'll have to just do the conversion. It's €9,490. as of now. And a lot of other companies are raising the prices because they're shipping in a whole bunch of other shit. That sucks. But while they're set for this price, and I believe they had a lower price for introduction models. Yeah, so about 14, I guess, is the conversion. So let's do 9490 euro on the calculator. It's actually 15.8. Wait, hold on. Why does it keep updating, you fucking piece of shit? Yeah. 15.9. Gotta love this up and down bullshit. If they would stop sending money across the fucking ocean to other places, maybe we would have good currency. Jesus Christ. Our government doesn't deserve money. Spend it on other places. What is this horse shit I am listening to right now? Oh, I know who this is. I'm sorry. She's quite an attractive Instagram sort of ish model. I apologize. This is not horse shit. I hope she's watching. I doubt it. Wait, I can actually clip this and send it to her and be like, hey, look, I'm listening to your music on my live stream. You get bonus points. Dad, they don't give a shit. Doesn't matter if I show them stuff like that. Everything is just bait. They have their own lives and they do their own thing and they don't care. Pixel Castle, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's such a shame about the Canadian government, the decisions and split politics and the way that we're getting manipulated against a lot of things. Like, it's really, really sad. I mean, I do wish a lot of people a good life, but not when it sets so many different unfair things against everyone else, right? I think pendulums have been swinging in multiple directions for too long that it's about time that some serious fucking changes have happened. It's really, really affecting a lot of things. I know some people who are here that are like dealing with healthcare and like timelines, and we're such like open arm bleeding hearts for everybody in the world that are native tax-paying fucking born citizens are getting shafted to balance things out. Like, I don't get that. How could you possibly like grow a debt to some odd $1 trillion or whatever it is and have nothing to show for it? That doesn't make any sense. The worst investment plan I have seen. Like, what are we getting for all that investment? Cheers. Let me chill out. Like, hey, bro, we came here to talk about audio. What the fuck is all this politics stuff? I tell people all the time my channel is not just about audio. It's psychology and sound, and psychology is the first factor in our whole life. So it's like, if we don't have other things in life managed or handled, then nothing about audio is really significant next to your health. Health is number one. Health is almost more important than family in a way, depending on which way you want to choose that. You could sacrifice your health to save family, and I understand a lot of parents would do that. And in some cases, you know, organ donating and yada, yada, yada. The thing is, though, like, if we're all under an oppressive thumb, it doesn't matter how much you sacrifice, everybody suffers. And that's fucking wrong. I don't, you know, that's what I'm I try to raise some awareness about that. It's okay to, you know, like I enjoy this as a hobby. I love talking to people. I love exploring stuff. Music like this, like what the fuck is this? Is this yes? It says everything yes. Flying nymphs? Flying nimbus. This is really cool. I want to add this to my playlist. 10 years of Trudeau really hurt this country. Yes, but they're not really much better. I mean, we got rid of that douchebag and flew in some other sock puppet from across the pond. And he failed in the UK. He failed so fucking bad in the UK they didn't want him in over there. And most of his profile is in US stock. What a twat. I can't believe we have this clown in office right now. Pixel asking the audio question, tweeters in or out, which one do you like better? To bring it back to the point. Thanks, my man. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I was saying the tweeter difference from here is only over here. So you're only looking at a lateral shift of about 5 inches, 4 inches. So it's only moving over about 4 inches in position in the room. It's not much of a difference. Does the streamer have calibrating and MC? Oh, is that a caliber? Oh, hold on. My friend, we are say like connected. I can look up anything you want. Fats. Singing fats. Right. Correct? It's an old tune. This is like classic drum and bass type. I remember this one being on. I'm using Spotify because it's easier to just browse through everything. I could use Tidal, but I don't subscribe to it. And I could use Qobuz, but Qobuz doesn't have shit like this. And I'm approve it. I'm gonna call up Qobuz on my iPad and we'll see if it has this song. Just to prove a point. It might have this one because it's old. Shit. Tuju81, hello everyone from Finland. It's 1 in the morning here. Thank you for joining on a Friday. Please stick around. I sometimes will go on live at like 1 a.m. So it will be more about 9 a.m. your time or 9 p.m. your time. Oh, badass tune. Yeah, so I just tried to find this track on Qobuz and it's not, yeah. So Spotify, Tidal have mostly the same libraries. Qobuz pays artists better. So the reason why I have Qobuz is for that reason. But for whatever reason, it's not, it just doesn't have shit like this. It doesn't even have caliber. Am Am I spelling it wrong? Yeah, it's even in artists, it just doesn't, nothing. Fucking lame. Yeah. So I prefer using Spotify for this reason. Yes, Genelec is very good. Who respect Finland? Genelec is massive. Yes, absolutely. And I was like, well, who the hell just mentioned Genelec? But there's a lot of stuff coming out of Finland that's really Amphion. Amphion is from Finland. Let's not forget. Metal bands from Finland. Lots of really great metal bands from Finland. These are not from Finland. Everybody knows where these are from. These speakers, I mean. What else do we have on the playlist today? What else can I answer? The tweeters on the inside outside, I didn't notice a whole lot. Drew81 said Danish. Yes. I can kind of zoom in on the name of the speaker there, and then we'll give it away completely. They are Copenhagen Loudspeaker Company. It's a new-ish brand under the parent company Gato Audio. I think gato means cat in Spanish or something. I don't know how these things are named, but that's just what it is. I don't know that I would be much better. I mean, you guys see what my screen name is. It's like a made up jumbled, like half the people can't even pronounce it properly. It is what it is, and then a lot of the services will replace the Y with an I, so it's like NIX. Can't spell that right, so I'm no better with naming. We were just rolling through the release radar, so I'm gonna just pick up where we were. This is on the release radar list. I do this sometimes on Fridays, so we'll just continue this way. The one that we just had, this one was amazing. I'm going to add this to my playlist. Saw the Purify cones? Well, the surround, yes. To add to playlist. Hi-Fi 26, yes. So let me move up closer. I'm going to unplug my phone now. So yeah, that's actually a Purify tweeter too. So that's the new Purify 33mm tweeter that they've included. 6.5 treated paper, I believe, treated paper mid-range, and then the not so often seen 10-inch woofer that they came out with in the last 2 years. So yeah, $1,000 tweeter. Yeah, exactly. It's like $1,000, $500, $500 or $600, and then plus the 2 passive radiators on the back. So that's a lot of money in drivers right off the top. And then the cabinet's made well. The stand is super, super heavy. So yeah, pretty easy. Not that I can prove it, but I'm gonna get my REW in here, and I'm gonna see exactly how deep they get in my room. And I have a fairly small room with some bass nodes to deal with, so I'm gonna try to show what I can. Stan all days, if you were to pick amps for these other than Purify amp, Bryston or something, Bryston 4B or something more powerful. How does Bryston 4B handle 2 ohms? Not that these drop to 2 ohms, but my Purify amps will handle 2 ohm loads. And that's usually just for bass overhead, you know what I mean? So for loud bass notes, the ohms load on the woofer is the highest. And it's you can buy amp them, so you can put one type of amp on the mid and tweeter and another type of amp on the woofer, which, spoiler alert, I might do that later. I don't know. It's hard to answer. I have a high current monoblock amp, and it will hit, I think I can read the specs for you. I'll try and find the specs for you. 7B mono would be nice. Yeah, I think that would be good enough. You want to go Canadian power. I wouldn't say Moon Audio 888, like you don't need that, but they will comfortably reach into the middle 20s pretty easy. I think they're rated to 25 on the website. Let me just call up some details. I love that it makes sure I'm not a robot before I sign in. Fucking brilliant. They've won some awards. Yes. I'm looking for specs. It's a nice crossover, boys. Like they're not messing around there. Jensen, 250 hertz and 2K hertz. So the mid goes 250 to 2K. Tech specs. They're rated to 28. Okay, so look, they're rated to 28 at 86 dB. So 86 is not the most sensitive, but that's where you're getting a lot of the bass from. 4 ohm, 3 ohm minimum. So there you go, 3 ohm minimum. That's about right. So I get 500 watts onto them. Doesn't give you a watt minimum watts 100. Doesn't give you a maximum watts. So obviously just don't be stupid about it. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to skip this to something that I know. Sandman Project. Let me see. Heavy, almost 100 pounds each. Yeah, not as heavy as some other speakers, though. The speakers I had in here before are 111. The Arundel towers were 111 each. And those sounded nice, but they didn't have the kind of bass attack that I mean, even the Kef R11s have more lower bass than the Arundels did. But the Arundels are meant for theater, in a way, THX rated, so they don't have lower bass. They've got upper bass range. They're 92 dB sensitive, which are higher than these and higher than the R11s. So the R11s are 90. These are 86. I would love to do a DIY build with those drivers, 100%. Good values in driver cost alone compared to other speakers with using $100 drivers. Yeah, that's true. And a lot of stuff is marked up that way. They've got next to bullshit parts with a clever wrapping around it, and they're charging you so much for those. Saw some knockoff Purify drivers on AliExpress. Of course, they're trying to copy the look of the drivers because they know people won't know the difference. Terrible. So I want to hear present day production Mum 10. I don't know what those are. They basically did what you're saying, but put in Hypex amp in them. So like the DIY project. Albino's here. What's up, my man? MX77. Good evening. Good evening. It is. What time is it now? It's got to be 6, right? This is my normal time to be on, and I've already been on for an hour. How about that? I'm working overtime on the audio field today. Welcoming all my friends on a Friday. Hello. Hello. I'm actual person. See, would AI do this? No. AI would not do this. You need intelligence not to do this. Fuck AI. At least the misuse of it. I say the same thing to a lot of people before. Look, if we used nuclear for energy when it was founded instead of weapons, we would be in a much better place right now. But of course, some human beings are fucking retarded, and we didn't get there. So, yeah. Antwerp, 4 a.m. Oh, and we had someone from Finland here. It was 1 a.m. for them. Thank you for joining so late. I'd like to go on earlier, like maybe Sunday I can go on at like 1 p.m. so it's earlier your time. I try to split it up because I understand the rest of the world wants to know about some of these things. Even the guys from CLC have messaged me and they joined me for a live, I think it was last weekend, 2 weekends ago. And by the time I'm on late in the afternoon, it's already close to midnight for them. So if I go on at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, then at least some of the European friends can join because it's not midnight or later. Which, you know, on a Friday, I can understand a lot of people are out probably enjoying themselves or in now and watching some of the stream, which I want to do. I want to share the moment with more people. Not 4 a.m. It's 12:06. Yeah. I get it. It's that's military time for 4 minutes. I get it. My phone is on the same time. I don't do AM, PM. It's all military, baby. Hoorah! Anybody else? Song suggestions? Requests? While I'm at it, I might as well. You guys are here. I'm making the video for you guys, not for me. If I just wanted to listen to music, I wouldn't turn my camera on. So it's really your show. I say that now, and then later on I'm gonna be like, I'm not playing that song. Oh, this has got a really interesting name. Osric Tentacles Space Platform. Does anybody want to take a bet this isn't Psytrance? Do you recommend the 9040 monos? Because here they are $1,400 per mono. It depends on for what. Because I have the 6525 Gen 2 boards, which are the half size to the 9040. I have the 7040s in there, but the 7040 SA boards are a high current version of what became the 6525. So these have 40 amps of current flow. The 6525s have 35 amps. But my build of these amps have the micro audio upgraded power supply, so it's like a 1200 watts power supply, and they have a 47,000 farad capacitor, not farad but microfarad capacitor board. So in addition to the power supply caps, it's got twice the capacitance, so it's got maybe like 100,000 per amplifier. So I'm sitting really nice for these subs. These subs don't have any kind of limitation on them at all. And the 7040 board will spit out roughly 500 watts plus into 4 ohms or more into 3 ohms, which these need. So it depends on for what, because the 9040 is like 1,000 watts. And what benefit are you getting for twice the price? So, Tuju's saying I'm working night shift now, so perfect time for me to watch the live since it's quiet here. Oh, perfect. If you're not subscribed and you want to hear more, like on the weekends or weekdays or whatever, I normally go on at about this time. My time is 6 p.m. So if it's like night shift and you're on that timeline and you want to see anything, I'm usually on at this time. And I have a Discord. If you guys don't know, if you do Discord or chat or anything like that, join the Discord and we can talk over there. So the link is in the bio, but I have a Discord for chat and all this stuff, so you guys can join me over there, as well as everywhere else. If you didn't know, I also have the Instagram page. I'm not trying to advertise, it's just if you guys want to know anything else, then you can watch all the kinds of content, stuff like that over there. Yeah. I'm not good at self-marketing, so I kind of need the help. Like if you share to other people and say, hey, this guy's got this or that or whatever, it's different kind of music, or if you guys can share it to other people, that would be perfect. So just music paired, Polk Audio, R600 modded crossover. Oh, that's cool. 600s are nice. That's a good platform to work with. Polk Audio does a lot of really good engineering on drivers and stuff. The cabinets they have to be relatively decent even for mass production, because they have to survive going all over the world. But yeah, reworking the crossover, you get the most benefit. Like Danny Ritchie's not really ripping people off with crossover mods. Like he does have a point, because where they cut costs is typically in the crossover. So if you throw a different crossover into the cabinet, or whatever the case may be, then you can actually benefit that way. There are some improvements to be made. Even if you just improve the quality of the values of stuff that's in the board, it would improve, like at least in transient response and that kind of thing. So there is a point to it. I don't disagree with doing it that way. Let me see what else is in this list. Dine and Dash, The Strokes. This list is just interesting. So your 7040, are they standard or custom? Well, the boards, the 7040 board itself is standard, but the build itself is custom. Let me show you the inside. Here's the inside. So that's the extra capacitor board. That's the standard 7040. 7040 SA, so it's a little bit more current. That's the Buckeye Audio input board. The micro audio power supply, but this is an upgraded version from the standard. Typically, I think this one comes in the 9040 board from Buckeye Audio, but the 7040 would just be a bigger module here. You wouldn't have the extra cap board. So that's what's inside the amplifiers that I have here. So it's a standard board, but this and this are custom. And they're not made by me. Buckeye Audio made them. Dylan at Buckeye Audio made me. I covered all the inside walls of my R600s with Denzel wool and quality parts. Nice. And that's the most you can do. I mean, for most of these models that we get, they have, relatively cheap stuff in the crossover, because that's where they can save a lot of money. If you're talking about 5 or 10 cents per board times how many speakers they create, it's a lot of money. So instead of spending $1 per cap, they're only spending 10 cents, and they're saving that much on each model they send out the door. It ends up being a lot of money, and why wouldn't they, In most cases, it's good enough for people. And if you're someone like Polk and you have 3 different series, you don't want to put your best sound in the middle. You want to keep it for the top, and you're going to spend more for the top, right? We have a Discover Weekly this week. So this is another playlist I like on my Spotify if you guys want to follow along. I like just going through it just to see what it's suggesting. And then, of course, half of this stream will get muted because this is all copyright music. So I'm thinking investing into R&L bookshelf speakers, the 1528s, if I remember the model correctly. That's about right. That's a monitor. 8-inch woofer, 5-inch mid-range, nice tweeter. Can you do better for that price? How much are they? I think they're what? They're in the 7,000 US, 6,000 US, about 5 US. Oh, while I was at it, I'm saying I'm saying fuck AI, and I actually used AI quite a while ago to design my own speakers. Check this out. The Red Bull logo on there and everything. It's pretty cool, right? It's actually not really what I was looking for. I have like a final version of these, but this was all done with AI. I mean, look at the tweeter at the top. It's retarded. It looks cool, but it's more for ideas than finished product, you know, like it's just good for that. We're talking about the R&L speakers. Many people measured them. I think the most refined thing about them is the tweeter. The lithium magnesium tweeter is going to be very delicate, and it's going to have that certain characteristic, like a touch better than beryllium in some cases, because some of the brands do beryllium very, very poorly. Focal sounds like they're just tearing at the air, and apparently Paradigm Personas sound boring. I don't know what the case is with the other brands. I mean, Studio Beryllium is okay. I know TAD does a better job with... TAD is a brand I would say invest in. If you want to get your, like, end game bookshelves, get the TAD bookshelves. Okay, 52 US, and that's now because the prices are going to go up. And they're 78 Canadian. See that? So prices are going to go up in September. So September they're going up by 20-25%. So if you're going to do it and they have a 60-day money back, whatever it is, I would say make your choice quick, because you're going to end up paying more. And they always say, you know, the same thing, you know, since the launch, they're trying to maintain their value, blah, blah, blah. And instead of lowering the value, they're going to increase the price. So they never have discounts. They never have Black Fridays. And they're always going to have these things. So in order to maintain all that in the changing landscape of bullshit we call politics, they have to raise their prices. So I've never heard them other than in hotels. I've heard these at hotels. This is going to get me muted for sure. I can't play this. They're good. Their characteristics, yes, you do need a better amp for them because they're power hungry. They're rated at a low sensitivity-ish. I can't remember. What did I see they were? I'm looking up the sensitivity right now. They've got so much hype too. That's, you know, I'm not saying the hype is unwarranted, but I have questions about things that are like hyped. Like, I think the things that are so good usually don't need anybody to advertise for it. God, this mobile website is shit. Look at that. 84 dB sensitivity. I would not. I wouldn't do it. I'm gonna have to go on another music break here. My stomach is not agreeing with me today. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna leave this one on for a music break. I will be back in a short 2 minutes. Nature is calling me and I don't want to cut the stream off. Hope you fellas understand that. And we'll just play this song out and enjoy the tones, the sounds. 84 dB is very low, yeah. Aaron liked them? Yeah, he did. Jay liked them too, he bought them. It's for certain qualities. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Damn. I didn't know what kind of a song we were getting into, but this is really great. Really, really good stuff. If it sounds good on YouTube, must be amazing in the room. Yeah, that's kind of the point, right? Like, I'm trying to bring a little bit of demos here, and I mean, we're only listening to it through the compression of the stream through a cell phone. You know what I mean? And it's Spotify on top of that, so that gives you some idea. Albinos, that's, I mean, I don't know what else to call you, but you may or may not be one. I'm just saying. Is that a request? It's not capitalized, so I don't read it as a song title. I apologize, but I'm a literate English reader, and if it isn't written with proper punctuation, I don't really know what you're trying to say. Could be code for all I know, like Foxtrot, Whiskey, Tango. What's the I can't remember the lettering. GFYS, Golf Foxtrot Y. I don't remember what Y is, or S. I have no idea. Felix Laband, red-handed. Is that what you mean? Think you can't go wrong buying a well-reviewed speaker like that. It would resell quickly if you didn't like them. Depends. Pixels and I understand that because they're widely reviewed and they're highly whatever the case may be. But that can change overnight when, say, another company releases a speaker that nobody knows about, like they just did for Kef. Kef R3 Metas were the rage for like the longest time, right? Everybody had them. Everybody liked them. Ron at New Record Day, Jay had them, Nemo had them, Aaron had them. Aaron still regards the R3 Metas as one of the top, or the Kef Reference 1 as the top sounding speaker. Ask him what he thinks of either one of those versus the Arundel. You know what I mean? Does anybody have those answers? And then also, do you like exactly what Aaron likes? Is your room exactly like Aaron's room? You know what I mean? Like, these differences in his room and your room are going to make a difference overall. Also, do you run the exact same source and amps as those guys? Chances are you don't. So, I have a client now that I talk to about this stuff all the time, where you can't just follow what the reviewers are telling you, because there's more data than goes into a decision than just what these guys are saying. En masse, as a matter of psychoacoustics, yes, but think about it. All reviewers online are getting paid by either YouTube or someone somehow to keep saying things that are very positive and likable. I don't know too many, like myself, who don't get paid for fuck all, who are willing to just put my neck on the line to tell you the truth about what's going on and some other details that can verify what I'm saying. Not very many. Not to say that others are dishonest. I'm just saying it's a web of information we need to see through. Sure, I would go for a big Genelec, but they are crazy pricey. Yeah, that's true. Even the 8000 series, like the 80, what is it, the 8320s? Those are fantastic speakers. It's not... Am I reading that right? Albion? Albion as in an area? I've been reading it wrong. I'm dyslexic. Holy fuck. Albion. Okay. There's an area around me by the name of Albion. And I know that name. Exactly. I'm not in love with the rolled off treble of Kef R3s. Yes, you're right. All the R series have a rolled down high frequency to account for most people's rooms that have like no treatment. Because if you had that much high frequency in a room like that, like Aaron would talk about the Sonus Faber Lumina 2 Amateur or the original, like they have a boosted high treble that can get really, really irritating in spaces like that. See, but my room, being treated on almost all angles with soft fabrics, and the ceiling, like I don't have that problem. Wherever I aim the tweeter is the energy that I get. So I actually really like those in here. And I appreciated them in my other room because I have treatment everywhere. So for me, when I get the R3 Metas, they're good for like my everyday listening because they're not unbalanced. They're very balanced sounding. Also, the coax does something for stereo imaging that hardly nothing else does. So that's got to be said. Let me see. I'm just going to play some generic shit in the background now. I think I've played some copyright music quite a bit through my stream today. So it's hard to say. Really, it's personal taste. So I haven't done my complete analysis on these yet because this tweeter's new. Half of the people that we're talking about in terms of reviewers, they haven't had these yet. There's only been 4. Sternholm Reviews was the first guy. Steve Guttenberg was the second guy that actually had them. There's a third guy. I can't hold my fingers out like that. How does he do it in Inglourious Bastards? There's a third guy. There's a third guy. What is it? Is it 3 like this? Or like this? Anyways, there's a third guy. He just did like a pretty good review of it. I can't remember his channel name right now. And then there's my channel. There's only been really 4 people to talk about them. Meanwhile, I'm the only one that really gave recordings. I mean, Sternholm did some recordings, 2-part, really good 2-part video. I love his channel. They're very honest. And they've got a lot of listening experience there. So I'm just going to say, like, wait till Aaron gets his hand on these. Which should happen in the next month or 2. I suspect, because I don't have definitive inside information. I'm not really giving away secrets, but I can only imagine that he will at some point. Oh, geez. Look at this. Look at that fucking view. Come on. I bet that carpet costs more than my whole system. That's wild. So he's got a Mac system and a Daggy Pre. Damn. Core Acoustics, yeah, that's the top of the line there. Yeah, that's a nice view. Florida? I don't think you can get that close to anywhere on California. But you probably can get that close to the shore in Miami. Looking south in Miami or north in Tampa. Damn, that's nice. Cables go in the floor. You see this? Yeah, fun stuff in audio. It's a nice system. I'm not knocking it. It's just, how much is it? Look at all the glass. Think about all the glass behind that system. Jesus Christ. Wild. I'm considering buying Kali. Kali in5 version 2 or in5 8 in white. Zeos made me fall in love with them, although we used Soundstage Expander. Well, they're a really good brand. They've been doing a lot of good things for audio. Coax driver. They're more like a monitor than you would think otherwise, but they have good DSP control. So not a bad idea. The 5 or 8 would be great depending on how you're going to pair them with other bass. So I would think either one of them are a really good idea. I think for me, I'm over the idea of powered speakers right now. All in one box for some things. I know that it can have a cleaner result on the back end, but I don't like the idea of like something in the system not going right and then all of a sudden everything about it is gone. Speakers are gone, amps are gone, you can't swap anything out, you can't really fix anything. So I don't like that idea too much. I had the Bucart A10s here for a while. They're amazing speakers. I think their sound was incredible. Way more bass and balanced sound than I imagined. I tried a couple of their master tunings. It was really good. Filled my whole apartment. Could not ask for more sound-wise. However, the way I'm using my computer, my desktop system, I sometimes will just browse and we'll play games, and the speakers will be off for too long, so their auto on off detect technology would shut them off and then turn them on, and sometimes you get this like power kick. I didn't know why. I should actually ask Mads why that would have been happening, but I didn't like how they would take a couple seconds to turn back on and they would shut off in my use case. So I'm like, no, that's not good. And most power speakers are the same because everybody wants to be fucking efficient. So I'm like, well, these amps are really efficient. They draw like 1 watt at idle, and that's with them on. So as soon as the signal is sent in, because they're Class D, they've got like instant power, but they never shut off. So I just put a pair of monos in by my computer. I have almost the same models at my computer now with the R3 Metas. So now, even with the amps off, like I haven't been in there for like an hour, 2 hours now almost. And if I go in there and play something, the sound comes on right away. And while the amp is sitting there, it's drawing like next to no power, because the power supply in Class D tech means that it's at idle, it's only drawing like 0.1 watt, 0.2 watts. So for me, it was worth it to make that switch. And now I've got the E50s on power amps with a Purify driver and a Purify amp, and I couldn't be happier. I think the E50s have this really nice, smooth detail top end without being rolled off or choked out by a crossover like the Kefs. And they're more detailed, more bass. The Purify does a better job at bass and the passive radiators rather than being ported. So those will be the main speakers in the 2-channel desk system. And then these will stay here, so that way I have Purify in both systems, both powered by Purify. And yeah, I don't think I could go very wrong there. So you know the part name of your boards, the it's 740 SA. Took a screenshot but can't find the boards you have. No, because they're not available. It's a previous model. That's why they're a previous generation. You can't get the 7040s anymore. As far as I know, they don't sell them. Maybe you can. The gain stage on the board itself is low, but that's why each amp has an input board. Idle losses, okay, 2.8 watts. Voltage power supply, look at this. So it's there. It's funny, you're writing 7040S as in plural, but if you just put SA and Googled it, it would have popped up. The thing is, though, I think you might only be able to get them from Purify now as a part, because I don't know that they're going out to anybody. Like, most of the people are using the newer boards. The newer the Gen 2 Purify boards are just as good with some better tech built in. So look for the 6525. Don't look for the 7040. Most people don't need the 7040 anyways because it's a high current board. The new ones are just as good. So the 7040 was a step up from the ET400 something. The 400 is an early, like, first gen board. Don't get that one. Don't go that way. It's earlier tech. The Gen 2 Purify boards are the newest thing. So look for the 6525. I'm pretty sure that's the number it is anyways. 6525, I think it's a BA board. Purify. They're not all SA, by the way. Is it SA? Buckeyes have an amp trigger input. Yes, they do. So the 6525 SA, which is a Gen 2 model, look at this. Look at the power. The decibel rating's even better. Current output's lower, but look at the decibel. Look. Output noise is lower. The gain's a little bit lower, but it's a lot of the numbers are better. That's more efficient. Voltage draw is just a little bit different. So I recommend, I mean, the 6525, like if you can afford either one of them, and all the details are there. I don't use triggers on the amps though. I don't have like an auto detect. I can, my Michi P5 does have trigger outputs, but I find like when I connect them and I have connected triggers, it includes noise. Adding a trigger cable, if it's not a very good shielded system, whatever the length of the cable it is, it's just going to include noise. So you know what I use as a trigger? Just fucking turn the amps on when you want to listen. Go up and turn them on. So like, this is my trigger. So instead of flipping this switch on and off all the time, sensitivity switch also, 3 different settings for sensitivity. Use this, it's all separated. So my amps are physically disconnected, not just on. So like if I have a lightning strike, I don't know that that's going to really stop it. So I physically turn everything off. I have the same thing over here. Just whoop, and just disconnect everything. Triggers are cool though. Never thought of ground loop issues. Yeah, I've experienced some of it. Because I don't know why, because nothing else has that problem. But when I connected it to some of the amps I've had, it introduced some problems with noise. And right now it's dead silent. The amps have zero noise. The preamp has got very, very, very little compared to all the preamps that I checked out over the last little while. Could you buy a remote switch so you don't have to do the effort? Well, I mean, then you're adding a remote switch that has its own power supply, and then that's going to get connected to the amp, and that might introduce noise. I have absolutely no problem with going over there and turning them on and off. Yes, exactly. It might create some noise because then you're adding some piece of shit power supply on the switcher and then a remote, and then whatever that switcher is plugged into could be noisy. Yeah, don't add anything. I mean, this whole hobby is about taking shit out of the signal path. Why would you want to add something in? I get that a lot of people have systems where it's wild to me that vinyl fanatics will want amp triggers. Like, the whole point of vinyl is to do the manual work. Go up and touch the amps. I'm in a lucky position that I get to spread my shit out. I realize that. A lot of people have a little cabinet here where like everything is like stuffed in the cabinet. You can't get to it. I'm in a lucky position where I plan for this. I don't have a spouse or kids or cats or dogs or pets or any bullshit. Everything is just audio. So for me, I get to set them up the way I want. The power cables the way I want, the extensions the way I want. If I need to have them on or off, I just go over and turn them on and off. So I'm getting lazy. Vinyl is too much effort. Yeah, totally. But I mean, like, if you want the best out of it and you're going to spend the money on it, then a little bit of extra, you know what I mean? So get this. If you're lazy, then do this. Put this by your table. And then plug your extension cords in here. This is right beside my table. There's no one saying you can't get like an extra long switch. You guys ever seen those switches for lamps? They have like a little button, you just step on it. Just there, put something by your table, just step on it underneath the carpet. Get creative, don't be lazy. Laziness is one of those things that actually can push you towards creativity. If you're creative and intuitive enough, you can solve your problem by coming up with a solution. Like for me, when I installed my portable air conditioner in the apartment, it was actually running on the same circuit as the fridge. So the fridge has a compressor and the air conditioner has a compressor, and you guys all know what happens when you overload a circuit. So I unplugged the fridge from the circuit and run an extension cord across the building to another place, and then I put the fridge on a power bar so I can actually turn on and off the fridge if I need to from a different place, and I solved the problem of the circuit being overloaded. Now, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't have anybody to argue with me. I just fucking did it because I don't have to compromise. Also by choice. There's not really, I don't see much of a benefit to have somebody chopping away at the things that I enjoy doing. For what? I haven't seen the benefit in that yet. There's one I can think of, and I think a lot of that other stuff outweighs that one benefit. So I don't have that. We're going on almost 2 hours here, boys. I do appreciate everybody for being here and hanging out. It's a lot of attention for the CLCs, and I'm happy to share as much information as I can. Weem Pro has a 12-volt trigger. It turns on when you launch Spotify. Pretty cool to turn your system on just by launching an app. Yeah, lazy man's trigger. As long as it's quiet, man, all the more power to you. If you can get away with doing it and it's quiet, then God bless you. I'm not arguing against it. I personally don't want to add anything in my system that needs to do that because it's already quiet and I already get some exercise. I am not yet old per se, and I don't want to get into lazy habits where I don't need to. I don't get neighbor complaints. Not from above me, not from below me. I'm on the ground floor, so I don't have anybody below me. So that's a good thing. I did that on purpose too. When I moved in here, I knew that I was going to be constantly moving audio in and out of my apartment. So I moved into the ground floor to make that ta-da fucking easy. And I don't like the idea of an elevator with the power out or taking my bike in and out of the apartment. Fuck all that. I'm on the ground floor. I do have flooding issues. You know, that could be an issue. But that's why my amps are on stands. The subs are on stands. The speakers are on stands. Planning. It's called planning. You just, think of all the what ifs. Find somebody who's very autistic and overthinking. Tell them what your plan is. Let them overthink and analyze the shit out of it, and you'll come up with a lot of what ifs. And then just solve them one at a time. That's what you need. That's what every company needs. They need an autistic overthinker on their team so they can constantly go, hey, well, what about this? And then, it might not sound great at the moment, and you might think, oh, we don't have a budget for that. And then lo and behold, you don't want that same person coming back a couple months later when shit hits the fan, and they just look you dead in your face and say, well, I fucking told you so. Right? Prevention costs less than reaction. Prevention is worth the investment. Yeah, I'm autistic too. Concrete floor is a plus also. Yes, for sure it's a plus. However, the walls are like plaster, and this isn't very great. Also, you guys see what time it is, right? It's only like 7 p.m. So as loud as it is, city ordinance or city code or whatever is 11 p.m. for most sound noise per se, but then I'm never really blasting it, so I have no neighbors to one on this side. Oh, I just lost the stream for a second there. It says recording. Might have to end this stream. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, let me say my goodbyes just in case it cuts me off. Thank you guys for being here. No, I don't have problems with my neighbors. Thank God. I do respect their time, and I'm never playing late. So there's that. I will see you guys in the next video. I will be doing comparisons. I do have the R11 metas to compare. I'm going to A-B compare these at some point, swap the positions. I got requests, not concrete, but like plaster. So yes and no. Not solid concrete, but like flimsy concrete. So they have a weird resonance. That's something I'm dealing with. The ceilings too. It's not drywall and wood. It's old building, like metal grating and plaster. So it's fucked. I got some requests to do some bookshelf comparisons. So because these have the 6.5-inch mid-range and tweeter, and the E50s have the mid-range-ish and their own tweeter, I was asked what I think of this high-end versus their high-end. So Bucart versus these. The problem is, if I'm going to run the Bucarts, I'm going to have to add these subs, and then I'm going to have to run these on their own, and it might create some differences in this kind of thing. Also, the height, I want to try to minimize how much is different, but I have a number of bookshelves that I want to compare. I have the SVS now, the monitor audios, I have the KEF, so I'm going to do like a 4-way comparison of all those bookshelves. And then I'm going to do the towers, the 2 towers. And then after that, I'm still hoping that I get to hold on to these, but I've got to do some pricing and some prioritizing. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today for the almost 2 hours. I do appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here now, though. We'll see if I can get another video out throughout the weekend. Subscribe and all that other stuff to join me at another time if you do wish to do so, or if you haven't already. I imagine you guys do, which is cool. Yeah, and I'll see you all in the next video whenever that happens to be. Maybe Sunday, I'm not sure. I don't know how my Saturday's going to go. But enjoy yourselves, guys. Thanks for joining me today and asking the detailed questions. Getting some more information out there about these and enjoying it. So I'll see everybody on the flip side. Again, Discord, Instagram, Facebook, all those stuff. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you next time.